Hey, what's up, cats and kittens? And shout out to all my cerebralites. It's me, the Cerebral Diva. And today I am creating a new segment. And this segment is going to be called You Say What. This is an interactive segment. I definitely want you guys to chime in with your opinions, add your 2 cents in where you feel necessary. Um, and the reason why I'm creating this section is because I feel like sometimes we get so immersed in our own thoughts, our own beliefs, our own ideologies that it really sort of blinds us to empathy. And I think when you hear the opinions of other people in different perspectives, it really gives you a broader empathy. And so that's why I really want your opinions because I don't want to be one of those people who is so hell bent on being right that I can't see outside of my own opinion. Okay, so the segment is titled You Say What, and today's topic is going to be: is there a double standard when it comes to interracial dating within the African American communities or within minority communities? Now, I'm African American, so that's why I'm specifically speaking to the African American angle. Now, if you're of a different race or nationality, definitely chime in with your opinions as it relates to African American dating if you feel so inclined, or as it relates to your own nationality or your own race. I just really want to hear what you have to say and what you have to, and have a dialogue, if you will. Now, before I delve into this particular topic, I really want to talk about what was the impetus. I was having a conversation with someone that I'm kind of seeing but not seeing. It's one of those complicated situations that could be another video unto itself. But I'll digress. um, and he was basically really perturbed by the fact that Serena is engaged, not only engaged but with child, from Alexis Ohanian, who happens to be white or non-black. I'm not sure the origin of the name Ohanian, so he may not even be white. But anyhow, he's not black. And so he's really upset, saying that, Serena, Janet, Eve, all of these people are after these billionaires, these rich white guys. They're just using them for their money, blah, 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 blah. And so in the case of Serena Williams in particular, well, first of all, I'm going to say really quick, when it comes to Janet, Janet has put her career on hold for this man for the past 5 or 6 years. Janet is a money earner in her own right. So I feel if she put her career on hold to be a loyal and dutiful wife, if she put her body in jeopardy by having a child at 49, 50 years old, to me, and she's mitigated her own earnings by way of being this dutiful wife, not wearing certain clothes, not performing certain songs, not dancing in certain ways, the ways that have helped her become a top earner. I definitely think that she's entitled to this $500 million. And I hope that she doesn't kowtow to public opinion and wind up walking away and leaving that money on the table. People need to keep in mind that this is a prenuptial agreement. That means that this man was not coaxed or coerced into anything. This is an agreement that he signed off. This is a binding contractual agreement that both parties agreed to. So he is by no way, shape, or form a victim in this particular situation. Not only that, imagine being 50 with a high risk pregnancy, and the man that you're married to, your husband, is out seeing other women when your pregnancy is already stressful. Like, I don't know how people are suddenly turning this man into the victim and not Janet. So I don't want to go too far off into that tangent, but I just wanted to touch on that. So anyway, back to Serena and Alexis Ohanian. So he's really upset that Serena seems to have found love in someone who's not black. Now, as a black woman, we as black women have to swallow that pill every single day. And I am not averse to interracial dating. I mean, in my mind, love is love. I subscribe to the belief or the tenet, like who likes you. Like who likes you. If someone likes you and they happen to be of a different race and there's a mutual attraction there, I think that it would be, for lack of a better word, it would be dumb to exclude that person simply based on race. At the end of the day, we're all human beings, and that should be really the only criteria that you use. Not the only criteria, but whether or not this person treats you well, whether or not this person values you, whether or not this person supports you, whether or not this person genuinely loves and cares about your well-being. It shouldn't be about race. But I feel as Black women, very often we've been vilified by Black men. Black men in particular will say things like, oh, Black women are angry, they're hostile, they're lazy. A lot of, and what I always find so interesting, like if you've ever done online dating and you're Black, chances are you've come across the profile of someone who is Black. If you're a Black man who dates men, or black men or Black women, if you're a Black woman who dates Black men or Black women, chances are you've seen profiles that say no Blacks coming from another Black, which I think is so bizarre, you know, and when you see that, sometimes you have to marvel at it. You have to scratch your head and be like, what happened in this person's life to make them be so self-loathing to that degree? But at the end of the day, if this person is not into me, then I'm definitely not into you. It's really just that simple. 1 + 1 = 2. So you see all of these profiles where Black men are basically campaigning to devalue Black women to a certain extent. That's how I feel. Now, this is, once again, this is why I want you guys' 2 cents. I really want you guys to chime in and add your opinions to this, because, maybe I have tunnel vision and I want to know if you see things that I don't see. And I think I talked about this in another previous video about interracial dating, where I dated a Black guy, and I've only dated Black guys, which is really interesting because very often people assume that my boyfriend is white, but I've never dated a white guy. Not that I won't, or not that I wouldn't. It just, circumstances haven't worked out. That's happened in my life. Now, I've gone on dates, but nothing, a real relationship has never come into fruition from any of those dates. So, um, you hear all of this talk from Black men about how Black women are angry. Oh, no, 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 that's not where I was going to go. So I was dating this guy, and he told me that I was really the first Black girl that he had dated, and he was Black. Now, he told me the only reason that he dated me was because I did not act or behave Black. And, you know, that was sort of the deal breaker. That was really the thing that sort of pushed me away from him, because I was actually really into him. But knowing that he felt as if I had quelled my Blackness made me more, my quelling of my Blackness made me more desirable to him, made him less desirable to me. And we had topics and discussions before about it, and he would say to me, well, Black women have this negative body image, like they think that they're thick but they're really fat. No, but white women will actually go to the gym with you. This is not me speaking, you guys. This is some of the reasoning and logic that he offered me. So I'm thinking to myself, that's interesting. Now, I go to the gym almost typically 5 to 7 days a week. Um, but I don't think that being physically fit is something that's exclusive to non-Black women. I've seen lots of Black girls at the gym, all the time. So I'm not sure where he's choosing his partners, but for me, I think that sometimes people just try to find a way to legitimize their reasoning and their logic. But what I don't like is the fact that people are so judgmental when they're being judged, or they're so connected to judgment, to being judged, that sometimes they don't recognize that they're being judgmental. For instance, to me, when a Black man says that he doesn't date Black women because of whatever excuses he offers, to me, that is racial profiling. You are essentially judging Black women on anecdotal evidence at best. Not every Black woman thinks the same. Not every Black woman behaves the same. Um, we all have our own different beliefs and values and experiences that help to color and shape us into the women that we are. So if you think that, one Black woman is the same as another Black woman, that's just proof positive. And it's just like saying that all white women are the same. I mean, you're going to find some very attitudinal, some very strong, rigid girls who are non-black, who are white, who are Asian, who don't have a problem with speaking up for themselves and having a backbone. And so, for some reason, non-compliance is a trait that's assigned only to black women. Why that is, I cannot answer that. But and probably the reason is because a lot of black women recognize BS from a mile away and they have a zero tolerance policy for it. And because you don't, because some of these men can walk. This is what gets me about men. Some of these men walk through the door just broken, fractured men. They don't have a job, they don't have an education, they don't have a driver's license because they're in arrears on child support. They can't get a job because they have felony arrests. They want to smoke weed all day, so they can't have certain jobs because these jobs are doing drug testing. Like, they have all of this baggage that comes with them, and they want you to look at that and say, I think I want that in my life. I think I want that. I want to take on that project. And a lot of black women have taken on that project multiple times to the point that they're like, I'm not doing it anymore. I've been there. I've done that. I know it doesn't work. I refuse to put myself in that position again. And because you refuse to allow yourself to be misused, abused, and taken advantage of, somehow that makes you less desirable to black men, as opposed to black men looking at themselves and saying, maybe I need to step my game up and get my life together and become a more viable option for the queen that I want. They don't see that. Now, could there be some black women out there who have attitudes? Absolutely. But I don't think that that's true or indicative of black women as a whole. So, as black women, it's like we're expected to accept the fact that black men dating out of their race has been normalized, has been accepted in this sort of patriarchal model that we all live in and subscribe to. But if a black woman decides to say, okay, well, look, if you can't beat them, join them, then somehow she's vilified. I tip my hat to Serena, honestly. We've seen Serena date men, black men, men of color. Drake, who's biracial, Common, who's biracial. I'm not sure of her previous dating history outside of those two, but certainly they definitely qualify as men of color. So it's not as if she was exclusionary in terms of choosing a partner for whatever reasons. That reasons that we're not privy to, those relationships didn't work. And because they didn't work, she moved on. And so it happened that she met someone who was of a different race. Why is that a bad thing? Why are we not happy for the fact that she found love and found a man who appreciates her? I mean, it's just amazing to me that as black women, we're expected to, and I sort of, I feel bad talking about this subject because I don't want anyone who's in an interracial relationship to feel that I'm not okay with that. But because I am, like I said before, like who likes you, love is love. I have absolutely no qualms whatsoever with people loving who they happen to fall in love with. The issue for me comes when people date exclusively outside of their race. Same thing for white guys who only date black women. I don't think that that's, I think that that's self-loathing to a degree. And I get it, we all have things that we're attracted to. And I've never been a person who, um, I can't speak to the experience of a person who's exclusively attracted to a race other than their own, because that's not been my experience. Um, but I think as women of color, we have learned to bite the bullet and in a lot of ways understand that black men seem to be moving away from black women in a lot of cases. And as black women, now we have to expand our options and say, okay, well, what else is out there? Because clearly, even there's a show on TV called Love at First Sight or Marriage at First Sight, something along where the couples get married instantly. And last season, or the season, I think it's season two, they were choosing the couples, and so they have all of these love coaches on the show, and each coach is trying to put these couples together. And it's such a powerful moment. The life coaches or the marriage coaches, the dating coaches, whatever these coaches are, the coaches, um, they're discussing black love, and that you have all of these black women, right? They show this montage of black women, and the black women are like, oh, I need me a strong, tall, black, dark skinned man. Oh, I need me I love me an African king. I love me, like these black women are praising. I mean, they are dedicated to black men. And then they show this montage of black men who are like, well, I really don't date black women. I'm open to whatever race. Like the black men just weren't here for it. They had no loyalty whatsoever. They're just like, look, whatever comes my way, I'm open to it. As a matter of fact, don't even put a black woman on the table because chances are I'm not going to choose that as an option. So I just thought that the dichotomy was really interesting to see, and it was interesting that the dating coaches or the marriage coaches were primarily white, and even they were puzzled or bewildered by the juxtaposition of valuation as it relates to black love. So anyhow, you guys, like I said, I don't want to go on too much longer about this. I'm really interested in your opinions, whether or not you feel that there's a double standard when it comes to interracial dating. Are black women held to a different regard or a different standard when it comes to dating outside of their race than black men are? And why is that? And does that need to change? Shouldn't we have the right to date outside of our race with the same vigor that black men have? So, as always, in closing, you guys, remember to live better, love harder, and think smarter. It's me, the Cerebral Diva. Also, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Remember to follow me across all social media platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I am Cerebral Diva on every single platform, spelled just as it is spoken. So if you can spell, you can find me. I will talk to you guys again soon. Have a fantastic day. A great weekend, actually. Bye.